Hey everybody, it's Doug here, Doug Mr. Guy Board Game Geek, bringing you our next episode of my playthrough of Black Orchestra, where we are playing a group of German officials that are attempting to assassinate Hitler during the World War II era, obviously, and we are in the middle of it. Now, I do want to make one quick correction. I took one too many actions with one of the characters, General Frederick Albright, who is the yellow player here. And if I recall, the last thing he did when I look back was flip that. So I'm going to take that back, and that's where we're going to start. That was my correction. You know, this is one of the few games, one of the games I haven't played, well, not one of the few, but I play a lot of games blind. And in other words, I've read the rules, but I've never actually played them, and I throw them on camera to show you what that experience is like, learning them out of the box. This one I had played, so it's not just going more smoothly in that regards because the rules are very easily laid out on the board, but also because I've played it a few times. So sometimes I'm going to say, don't blame the game, blame the player. And like, for example, I've had games where I've said it, and I always try and say it. This is a blind playthrough. I've read the rules, but have not played it, so expect errors and things like that as I learn. But I do that on purpose, often, so that you can see what the learning curve is like for someone who has a lot of game rules experience, like myself. So anyway, that's where we're at. So we're going to get started right away, and of course we're going to start our session with General Hans Auster, who is here at the Gestapo HQ. He is extreme in his suspicion, so we got to try and find a way to take that down. And he doesn't really have a good way to do that at this point. So now, one thing is we are into the second era, so we do have the town of Berghof down here that we can go to, and also Vienna. If stage 2 -2 suspicion, so we might want to try and get him down there because we definitely got to get rid of the suspicion. So what we're going to do for our first action, since he's alone up there, is I'm going to use, he's got 3 actions, I'm going to use all 3 of those actions to roll 3 dissent dice and conspire. Something you can do once a turn. If you've looked at the previous videos, this is the only thing, you can only do it once per turn because it gives you extra actions. But I really need to get this dissent track going better because we need to up our motivation. Otherwise, we're not going to be motivated enough to fulfill the assassination plots against Hitler. So let's start there. So he's got 3 actions. It takes 1 action per die. He's not going to move yet. He's going to roll these first. Let's see what he gets. Well, that was bad, good and bad. I got the dissent I wanted, so we're going to put those 2 there, but he only has 1 action left as a result. Since he... I mean, he might as well use his action to pick up the poison. He's got nothing else he can do. Now, if he gets arrested, that's going to go, I think that goes away. I think it's a restricted item. I don't know if it is or not. We'll have to see. He probably loses it, I guess. But anyway, that's what he's going to do. I could move him back to the train station. That might be better. You know, we're not going to... Is there any place I can actually use... Yes, there is. No, he's going to take the poison. And the reason why is because if he can get down to Tannenberg on his way over to these areas, he can lower his suspicion with the poison by turning it in to headquarters or wherever he'd be turning it into. But unfortunately, that was a very, very fast turn for Hans. So we're going to draw his event card and see what that does for us. Let's do that. It's right up here. It says, oh, here we go, man. Gestapo raid. Uh-oh. Okay. The Gestapo execute violent searches and raids against suspicious citizens. Perform the following steps in order. Conspirators with extreme suspicion are arrested. That is General Hans Auster. So he was already there, so now he's just moves over. They catch him right in their own backyard. That must make them crazy. They put him in the arrested conspirator pool there. Conspirators who were not arrested may discard any number of cards. Raise each conspirator's suspicion by 1 for each restricted card they hold. See, you get to discard these first. I gotta look and see. I only have 1 person with a restricted card. Return all dice on the dissent track to the supply. You're kidding me? I just finally get some dissent, and that's what happens. Oh, brother. Okay, well, things aren't going that well. So General Albright is high suspicion, and he does have a restricted card, so we are going to get rid of it, unfortunately, the forged documents, so that he does not raise his suspicion and does not get arrested. Okay, now, unfortunately, this awesome 2 successes I had on this dissent track go away as well. And that's really all that's going to happen this turn, because next turn we're going to deal with the fact that we have an arrested General Hans Auster, who's in the Gestapo raid. He got caught. So, after discarding, yeah, we got rid of that for each restricted card, return all dice. Doesn't say anything about losing his items. I'm going to double check that. I guess he snuck his poison away somewhere. He doesn't have to get rid of it. Anyway, that was the Gestapo raid. Oh, that was a bad card for us, guys. Okay, well, let's move on and get on to the turn of General Albright, who may try to go save his friend, the General Auster, from the being interrogated in the Gestapo HQ. And that was an unlucky time to pull that raid card. Wow. Man. Okay, well, anyway, we're going to move on to Albright's turn, General Albright's turn. He is going to, let's see. I think he's going to do the same thing. He's going to descent first. We got to get the descent track going. Well, he did the same thing, but did a little better. He got 2 actions, which is not terribly bad. I think he's going to stay there in Hanover. He's going to pick that up, see what it is. He's already got 3 items. He can't do anything with it, but at least he knows. I could go someplace where I could go to the train station. He's got a signature, intel, and keys. I'm thinking that perhaps I'm looking for a place where he can lower his suspicion. It's high. Okay, well, he's just going to go here. That's fine. And that will end his turn. He went there, but he does not have explosives. That would be Klaus von Stauffenberg, who's way up here. Okay, but that ends his turn too, so hopefully we don't get the second Gestapo raid and lose the descent dice we just got to put on the board. So we're going to draw his event card and see what it is. It says Sudetenland occupation. This is if a key event is in play, ignore and discard this card. There's not. Okay. The Wehrmacht occupies the German-speaking Sudetenland. Sudetenland. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to botch these pronunciations, I promise you. But we're going to have to increase Hitler's military support by 1. That's getting not good for us. Doom, 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 doom. He's at 6 military support right now. What that means is it's going to be harder for us to assassinate him. We've got to bring that down because we need too many successes. But we're going to keep going. We'll get there. Wow, it's been an interesting turn so far, but we're going to get on to Hans Oster, who's all by himself up here in the Ministry of Propaganda. And most of the guys here are down in here. Hitler's at the Chancellery himself, but we're going to do the same thing. We're going to descent with 3 dice, try and get... oh, I just took the 2 off the track. Oops. My bad. We're going to descent with 3 dice and see if we can get 1 more added to the track and make some changes. Wow, look at that. That is really awesome, but he's got no more actions. So we're going to take that. We're going to do that. And it says, when this track is full, return it. You can either choose Conspirator to gain +1 motivation. He's going to choose himself, actually. He's now... Well, he might choose Albright, because Albright will go up to positive. It says you may use your Conspirator special ability. His special ability is an action. Either move 2 spaces or move to 1 other Conspirator, or move 1 other Conspirator 1 space. That's pretty good. Klaus can get up. We still need to get. There are 2 people with plot cards. There's General Albright and Hans Oster. The plot card, the coup d'état, looks a little easier, except that Hitler has to be in Berlin. So I think he'll raise his own suspicion up to skeptical. Then these 2 go back on the track. So we're 1 away from. Now I'm getting it all the other directions. So before it was all rolling nothing but actions. Now it's rolling nothing but dissent. Unfortunately, that ends his turn, and he doesn't have another action, so he can't do anything but hang out there while he was stirring up dissent and conspiring against Hitler. So we're going to draw his card, and see what goes on. It says if key event is in play, there's not, so we're going to do this. It says party rally, the rally of peace, is held in Nuremberg. Set Hitler's military support to its starting value. Move Hitler and all deputies to Nuremberg. While this is the current event, any conspiracy that passes through Nuremberg sets their suspicion to low. Well, that's pretty good, because that is going to be in play for right now. But all that military support just plummeted back down to 3. That is really good. And then we got to move everybody to Nuremberg, which most of them are there already. So, yeah, let's just say, while this is in, could move Hitler and all deputies. So Hitler moves to Nuremberg as well. So everybody's in Nuremberg right now, talking peace, which we know didn't last. So Let's continue. That was a good, actually, really good event for Klaus von Stauffenberg. Let's continue on and do another round, going back to General Hans Auster, who's unfortunately arrested right now. What happens on a turn when you're arrested? Well, you have to discard all your restricted cards. He doesn't have any. Then we're going to roll 2 dice. And then we're going to resist interrogation, but first we have to draw an interrogation card. Actually, we do that afterwards. So if you fail to resist, draw and resolve an interrogation card. So we have to roll. Currently, he is at skeptical on his suspicion. So he only resists. He resists on that symbol. If he gets one of those symbols, he resists. If he rolls a eagle or a 1, 2, or 3, he fails. So he's got a very high chance of failing. Let's roll and see what he gets. He got an eagle, so he failed. So what we're going to do is draw a interrogation card. Okay, here's the first of our interrogation cards. It says, "Tell us what you know." Choose and announce one of the following without discussion. Do not reveal to the players. A. Resolve two event cards at the end of this turn instead of 1. Choose one conspirator not at extreme suspicion. Set their suspicion at extreme. Choose a conspirator with at least 2 item tiles. They must discard 2 item tiles. I think we're going to do B, because we're about to be able to get some suspicion down. So I think someone who's going to be able to get their suspicion down, it looks like, is going to be... I had a plan to move somebody somewhere where they could get their suspicion down. I don't remember where it was now. Oh, for intel. No, that's a map. Oh yeah, it's Klaus von Stauffenberg. So we're going to move. So what he announces is that he ratted out von Stauffenberg and may have implicated him in something. Therefore, we had a conspirator go to extreme. That's the first. That's a interrogation card. And this is going to get shuffled back in. If you cannot select any of these options, draw another interrogation card. Well, we could. After selecting, reshuffle this card into the interrogation deck. So we're going to take that. Not a lot of cards in this deck, but they do a lot of bad things. And then it says, after resolving resistance, if you rolled... no, we didn't. So you were then released. So we didn't resist. And we didn't roll a success roll, which is this number here. Yeah, okay, so now what we got to do is draw his event card. We didn't draw 2 because we didn't take that option, so we get 1. Visit from Hess. Hess unexpectedly arrives with special instructions from the Führer. Move Hess to the space of the nearest conspirator. That's going to be Albright. If that conspirator is alone, he may decrease his motivation by 1 to move to any legal space and lower his suspicion by 1. Okay, well, let's take a look at that. Okay, he is here, so Hess is going to move over here. Now, what I can do is move him by 1, but that would reduce his... basically, after his meeting with Hess, he lost some of his motivation. So I'm going to reduce his motivation from skeptical to timid, which will then also have him move. He'll move here and reduce his suspicion from high to medium on his way probably through Munich or someplace else where he can actually do... See, this one's for poison. He doesn't want that. Yeah. We got to get some other places next turn. Okay, but that is going to be Hans Oster's turn. Now we are going to go to General Albright, who is here in Cannonburg. We're going to take his first 3 actions to roll some dice so we can get some dissent going. Let's see if we can do that. Perfect. He got 3 actions. He's got his full actions back, and he got to dissent again, which is good because we filled up the track again. So we can decrease Hitler's military, but you don't need to worry about that right now. So we're going to increase somebody else's. I think you'll increase Klaus von Stauffenberg's motivation up to positive. That's one of the things you can do when you dissent, and he'll do that. So Klaus is now at positive, which means he has access to his special abilities. It says take up to 4 actions each turn instead of 3. Now, we also get 3 actions. So what is he going to do? Well, he's got signature, intel, and keys. And he is going to, I think, first he's going to move to... for first action, he's going to move here. Stage 1, -2, nope. Okay. And then I think for a second action, he's going to move here, then he's going to flip that over. So there's another set of keys there in Vienna. He can't go any farther because we're only on stage 2, so he can go there, but he can't go out to the 3s and 4s. And that is his 3 turns. You know what I could have done is got some cards, but he went back to timid, so he's got a hand size limit of 2 anyway. Let's draw his event card and see what happens. Strategy session, move Hitler, Göring, and Hess to Alderhorst. Okay, Alderhorst, well, Hess is already there, so Hitler and Göring are moving over to there. Think can you see that? Yes, you can. Just wanted to be sure. So there's the setup for the villainous bad guys. They're all in their various places, and that is going to end the turn of completely end Albrecht's turn. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to roll some descent dice for Klaus von Stauffenberg. He is going to descent with 3 dice, plus he gets 4 actions now because of his special abilities. So let's say, oh man, it's just action time. Okay, I was hoping to get some descent, but no. So he's got 3, 6, 7, 8 actions he can take this turn. Let's start taking them. So for 1, he's going to move to the Zoghaus. Boom, there's 1. For 2, and I'll just not remove another die because he's got an extra action already. For 2, he's going to turn in the map. Wait, oh, those keys, isn't it? Ah, it's keys. I thought it was a map. He's got to get to, oh, I see. Okay, so he's going to move here for 1, then here for 2 to the Deutschland Hall, where he will then take his 3rd action, turn in a map. That map goes away, and he gets his suspicion lowered by 2. So he goes from extreme to medium. That is good because he does have a plot card, and he needs keys and explosives. He's got explosives. He just needs keys, and then he needs to get Hitler in a non-fortified space, which I believe he is currently in, which would be good. So let's continue on. That was, let me see, we did 1, 2, 3. Okay, now he's got 5 left. Yeah, then he'll go 4, and from there he will go, what does he need? He needs explosives, keys, needs keys down here. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. He'll pick those up. So now he's got all the items he needs. Actually, he just needs to get to committed or zealous. So let's take a look again at his card. It's his hidden bomb card. Hitler is in a non-fortified space. Conspirators playing plot is in the same space as Hitler. Conspirator playing plot is at committed or zealous. That's the only thing he's missing right now. Oh, he gets a bonus die if he's a civilian. He's not a civilian, so he's not going to get that bonus. We don't have any civilians. We have 2 from the Wehrmacht and 1 from the Abwehr, I guess. But that is all of his actions. Now he is set up for his plot. We just got to try. And we got Hitler at the lowest possible thing. He needs 3 successes, but that which would be really hard considering he would only have 3 dice. But heck, it's better than nothing. We'll see if he can pull this off. In Nuremberg, I don't believe. I got to look up and see. I don't know if it's a fortified spot or not. Yeah, we'll have to see. Let's see if we can get it done. All right. Now, let's continue on. That was his full turn, so we're going to draw his event card. What is it? If a key event is in play, ignore this card, but it's not Nazi-Soviet pact. Hitler and Stalin sign a non-aggressive pact. Increase Hitler's military support by 1. Move Bormann and Hess to Berghof. Okay, let's take a look at that. We'll do that first. So, here's Hess. He's going to move to Berghof. Where is Berghof? Right here. And that says Bormann is the other one that moves. So these 2 folks go to Berghof, and we're going to increase the track, the military support track up by 1. So now he needs 4 successes. That puts him out of the ability to gain successes. Yeah, that sucks. Okay, well, or gain enough successes rather. We'll have to see if we can get some more stuff in there. I mean, I probably should have got some cards, but I wanted to get him ready for this hidden bomb event. With all his actions, I should have drawn cards because he can hold 5 cards now, and he's only got 2. Yeah. All right. Let's keep going. That's actually going to end. That was 2 turns. I've been doing this 2 turns at a time, so I did 2 full turns with these guys. That's going to end this session. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I hope you're watching my top 50 countdown of cooperative solo games that I'm doing right now on the channel, and I hope you enjoy that. I hope you're enjoying this playthrough too. This is a really neat game. I got to tell you, it's a neat game. It just has that feel. It's plays so smoothly and just runs well. It's a good game. I hope you like it, and let's see how this turns out. Are we going to be able to assassinate Hitler or not? Right now, we're not even in the middle of the game yet, so I think we're okay. And we'll just have to keep playing it out and see how it works. With that said, I just want to thank you again and say have a wonderful day. It's a windy day here in Austin, and enjoy. Take care. Play some games today.